Can you feel my pain? My world is full of silence. I have average words to converse with people who are hearing, but with deaf friends, I have rich language with full emotion, fluency, and expression. I'm here to tell you a story that came out of me as Aliya Sarfaraz. I'm a squash player. I won the titles among hearing players under 13, under 15, under 17, under 19 several times. I played squash against Maria Torpakai Wazir. She was my equal and I defeated her in many matches. I was nationally ranked number 1 from 2003 to 2005 and appeared in the final match of 11 tournaments and won each. I played in Hong Kong and India, won matches there as well. No player or coach in squash liked me being there. Nevertheless, I religiously performed my best form. My best features were my arm service, my enthusiasm for squash, and my yearning for acceptance into the field as a young deaf Muslim female. I continued to play. I won and lost in some tournaments from 2008 to 2015. No one came forward to encourage me to return to my best form, not even the coaches I had trained with. I saw no opportunity ahead for me to play my passion for squash, so I finally left the field 1 year ago in 2015. Lack of opportunity is a very, very dangerous. My heart broke at my fate. No more opportunities happened. What would be the future for me? I often wondered. My parents were the main anchors of life for me. Still, it was not enough. Their support was not enough. Lack of opportunity was out there and I could not go anywhere. I will tell you what opportunity I did not get. One time, I had an injury to my knee in a match at Weekend. I rested on sofa for 6 months. No one came forward to give me options for treatment. My parents took care of my treatment until I was well enough to return to squash. I drove to squash court. Everyone laughed. I was called fat in my struggle to regain my position as number 1 in mainstream squash. I was told to go home, make roti, cook food or get married. I was called ugly. I was told that I never had any belief in Allah, or I ate too much, or that I would put a dupatta on my head and become a Muslim. I was told if I wear shorts, then I would never be a Muslim. Shorts are part of squash clothing elements, and if my own parents did not mind me wearing shorts, then who were those people to insult me deeply? All those words slashed my heart with so many wounds, due to which I became silent for a while. I could not move or do anything for 3 to 4 years. My family was afraid. They took me to different places to keep me busy. I believed that Allah would guide me to a better place. But what was to keep me busy? Why did the world of squash end for me? My mind was disappointed more. So much discrimination, prejudice, and criticism. I have the same strength, stamina, and level of performance as those of great players such as Jahangir Khan and Jansher Khan. Those greats are my ideals, and I'm not talking about other deaf players. I competed with hearing people all my life and grew up with them. I'm not the same as those other deaf players who did their sports and education in a segregated setting. My parents did the inclusive setting of hearing people with me all their lives. Let me tell you what discrimination is. I remember one lifetime experience that there was a country-level tournament in Islamabad, and the management of Punjab Squash Complex tried to prevent my participation on the pretext that they did not want my mother to go with me and that I was to go alone. My mother told them that I needed her to interpret all information. Still, they refused. Then I requested my sports coach, Sir Noor Sahib, who was my main support for my sports career, and then squash coach Sir Munir Khan to practice with me in secrecy for 1 month. And on that day of competition, I reached Islamabad, and the Islamabad management let me compete and I won. Then it continued to South Asian Federation Games tournament, where I won straight 7 consecutive matches and in the end secured a silver medal. It was the tension of struggle that won me my place, recognition for my quite hard work and struggle for my acceptance. All were amazed and shocked. Those 2 head coaches who forbid my entry into the competition were then removed from their jobs by Pakistan Squash Federation. I also won a gold medal in another tournament. However, I could not accept this destiny that came down on me. Everyone at Pakistan Squash Federation knew the Aliya Sarfaraz in me, and no one stepped forward to uplift me to seek alternatives of my squash career. The only reply was that, "You are deaf. So what more can you do? You are not capable. Sorry." This was a very devastating statement. It was so hard a reality of life. Still, I put my talents to use by going for tennis, track cycling, cricket, discus throw, pole vault, swimming, short and long jump. I was not satisfied. My heart was made for squash, so attempting other sports was a little too unsettling. Then I went to study textile designing, fine arts, graphics designing, and so many on. I was very sad. During all my career in squash, I was the only deaf person who competed with normal female players in upper level. Now they all got permanent jobs in different departments, getting attractive salaries, but I'm still having a very little stipend from WAPTA, despite having induction orders from WAPTA on sports basis. The appointment letter from WAPTA dated 28/5/2011 is attached herewith, but still no response from WAPTA officials. Who would take time to watch my sign language and hear my thoughts? The hearing is the majority. When I travel overseas, the first thing I have to do is to write words because words take me everywhere. I believe that words are golden, first priority. Sign language is secondary. Then speech is third in priority. Words will help the deaf community in a long way. I have my qualifications of Bachelor's of Arts from Punjab University and 12 years of experience playing squash. What do I do with me? I was looking for a job to keep me busy and to find my path in life. I am Zara Husain. I am the Director Principal of Lahore Speech and Language School with a gold medal in special education from Punjab University and graduated with Masters of Science in Assistive Technology from Johns Hopkins University on a full scholarship from Higher Education Commission. And I am now a 5th-year PhD candidate of Columbia University in New York City in USA. I have a high-level recognition on my own right, much to the agitation of many professionals in the same field of special education. And I established a non-profit school from scratch with the help of my pen. My pen is my strength that won me grants to build this school, as a famous quote said, "The pen is mightier than a sword." We have a lot of work to do. With each one of you, we can make the difference for our Pakistanis who are disabled and deaf. I felt troubled by medical doctors and speech therapists telling the parents of deaf children that speech therapy, hearing aids, and cochlear implant surgery are the only cure where deaf people would automatically produce speech and written language in a day or two. This is the society perception of Pakistan. So daily, I see deaf children going to speech therapy with hearing aids on. They have the words on paper. They see the words with a blank face. Then they look at the therapist. The therapist pronounces a word. and the deaf child imitates the speech. I would stop the child, ask that child to look at the word, and tell me what it means. They look at the word, then at me, with a blank look. I speak, and the child copies my speech. I ask the child to draw a picture to identify the word. Nothing. Silence, blank look. The speech is very beautiful to the ears. Still, where is the recognition of word, recognition of language? Where would other words fit in to become a sentence? My heart sank in tears. This feeling of compassion resulted in the establishment of Lahore Speech and Language School in Gulberg of Lahore. Why did I do this? You all know that we have more than 20 schools for deaf in Pakistan established by the government and a number of private institutes. What sets my work different from other schools? My school teaches deaf children the Oxford and Punjab textbook board curriculum. I encourage them to become scientists, lawyers, and writers. This is an established fact that many deaf children in Pakistan who have very profound hearing loss do not learn to read and write. They pass the syllabus on memorization. Deaf people obtain degrees from institutions without actual ability to read and write. The result is that the deaf community is shamed to this fact that they could not be equally literate to others. My desire is to demolish that known fact. Do not get me wrong. I am not here to shame the deaf community or speak against any doctor or therapist in Pakistan. I love Pakistan. Pakistan is very special. With good luck, we do have deaf people who are great writers, performers, workers, and doctors, both abroad and here. In Pakistan, Aliya Sarfaraz happens to be the only Pakistani Muslim female athlete who is deaf and plays all types of mainstream sports, locally and internationally. I happen to be the only Pakistani Muslim female scholar in both Pakistan and USA who will complete PhD, but did not fake our potential and showed a truth in our work. Now I ask you, who will be the next Pakistani deaf potential? I came out in the open because my family is not prejudiced. My parents are the reason I am here. I love my family. So does the same Aliya with her. We both rose to a high level of acceptance and competence because of our families. We are thankful that our families are open-minded and tolerant enough and believe in us. My wish and dream is to give the deaf community the respect of literate and articulate minority group who would be welcomed with their potentials for future employment as participating citizens, and to encourage their families to push them to do their best. When you meet me and other deaf people, you see a group who sign with their hands. You don't see what is going in the sign language. You cannot see the language of thoughts in those moving hands. Those moving hands speak a language of mind. In the school, Aliya would create a world of possible opportunities with her sign language for deaf children, and I would compose her insights along. Our sincerity and devotion for the school often leads to a better tomorrow for deaf students studying there. We encouraged students who were deaf to play sports. We faced many stop signals. The parents of those children forbid them to play due to the fear that their hearing aids would get damaged during play. We dishevelled many wrong assumptions. It was okay to keep pushing such children to play well inside the school building, but outside in big cities, it was a frowned on stigma. People frowned on the idea of letting deaf children play on bigger scale. And we were often told, ये मुमकिन नहीं, ये बोल नहीं सकते, तो और आगे क्या कर सकते? I was really pissed. Slowly, after each event of 2 annual sports day performed by Miss Aliya, the parents' unjustly attitude had softened, and all of them have accepted sports as part of the curriculum. I struggled with the pace of my administration for many years. Aliya made it easier for me and stood with me in the troubled hours of administration, where the societal attitudes and prejudice made it difficult for me to do my job well, and I almost gave up. Her loyalty is priceless. What will we do with deaf children? The hidden talents and untapped potentials of deaf children have to be developed, nurtured, groomed, and polished. How do we do this on our own without cooperation of all of you? Please tell us. We asked many famous and common people again and again. No one could guide us or give us a clean answer. I challenge you to create a better tomorrow. Okay. Here I am asking you, can you change your attitude tomorrow and accept your deaf fellows to sit in those same seats as you? What will a deaf child do without opportunity? Can you support and nudge that child into the path of opportunities? Can you give up your selfish nature and give up your honor of opportunity to this person for the welfare of humankind? This is a lifetime question of this century. Thank you for listening.